Hello everyone, I'm your host Hamas28 and welcome to FTB Skies 2 Aero, which I'm guessing is short for aeronautics. Now we're starting on a pretty standard skyblock area. Let's go ahead and ulti-mine the first tree, get some wood, and see... Why does the ulti-mine not want to work? Ulti-mine, mining 6 blocks. What? Where's my log? It appears to be lagging. Oh, that was weird. We're literally on a skyblock. There should be like 0 lag. Let's see, barrel with mechanical cloth. Aero scoop. Interesting, does that go in there? It does. Cool. How does it work? Where does this trapdoor go? Gearbox, windmill bearing. So if I turn on... Wait, no, that's a windmill. Don't I just right-click this? Interesting. What is this connected to? Oh, that's my ladder. Ah, so it's connected to this thing over here. Ah, I see. Okay, I get it. So I think the aero scoop only functions if it's part of a moving contraption. So as part of the skyblock experience, they give us a free windmill bearing to get it going. And yeah, it looks like it's moving. So now we're getting grains of infinity essence, dirt essence, stone essence, and dust. Pretty standard stuff for a skyblock. But for now, let's see. I could probably dig out some of the dirt here and expand our platform just a little bit. Yeah, not by too much. Now let's see here. Since this is an FTB pack, I'm guessing we have easy access to the crafting station, as always. And we can go ahead and make a chest. Plop that guy there, view everything inside the chest. Now we should be able to make a crook. No crook. Or maybe it has a different... You can make a stone crook out of stone. Is there Ex Nihilo in this pack? Let's see, at Ex Nihilo. There's some stuff, but nothing that says Ex Nihilo. They do give us quite a lot of free stuff though. Good old chest gives us 2 copper chests, and the sky at the beginning gets us Grandma's treat. I gotta say, this is something I'm not a big fan of in FTB packs, is just how much free stuff they give you, like right off the bat. They don't have to give you so much free stuff. Like, I appreciate it, but they don't have to give you that much free stuff, but a bigger chest is nice. And we have the ladder, so we shouldn't fall down, but I'm gonna keep that for there. And let's take a look at the main quest line, getting started. So you can see here, they only have really 2 main quest line chapters, because this skyblock is pretty open-ended. You could do pretty much anything in any which way you would like. So the first getting started is very simple. Looks like they want us to get to iron, and then get some basic materials, go to the nether, slay the ender dragon, and then the final end goal is make a pina colada, which... looks like it's going to be, you know, this is like the endgame thing, a lot of endgame items here. Black hole, interesting. Our favorite polonium pellets from Mechanism, always fun. But for now, the sky at the beginning, Grandma's treat gives us a bacon sandwich. And let's see, sky traders, wooden tools, aero scoop. Oh, this is what I was talking about. Observe the aero scoop, which is this thing over here. Oh, I think maybe I have to turn off the thingamabob down here. Let's see, now that we have blocks, we could probably make this a little bit safer. Because I don't want to fall down. So let's see, now we should be able to observe the aero scoop, which is right there. And it's not really working. Observe. I'm literally looking at it. Aero scoop. We also have the mechanical cloth, but it's not doing anything. I'm going to try moving it just in case. That might work. I built a little platform so we don't lose it. Maybe if I just move it somewhere else. Aero scoop. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. It's not doing anything. Why is the quest not questing? Oh, I have to do this. Discovering your ship. And then we can do that. Okay, I'm silly. Now, I'm guessing that these items up here are related to building our aeronautics spaceship. Well, technically it's an airship, but it moves through space. Or are all spaceships airships and not all airships are spaceships type of thing? So to make these, we're going to have to get into a little bit of create to craft, but they look pretty simple overall. So for now, let's just go through the, the standard rigmarole. Make a hoe, get some water, use that to make clay, get some dirt, make some cobble, the pretty simple stuff. Wood into planks, planks into shovel, wood into wooden shears. Use wooden shears to collect some leaves. Use wood to make a composter bin, put you over here. And I did see right here, it said spawned ally with trades. I think I'm just going to disable all of the random events because I'm not a big fan of them. Logs into wooden basin, then make a wooden bowl. Then grab your leaves, basin, throw a leaf on top, crush it to turn it into water, and collect the water in a bowl. What do we need that for? I'm not quite sure. The answer was given over the next second, so now we can take a dripper with our dirt essence to make 24 dirt. Then we can place the dirt on the floor, put the dripper on top, and now if we grab our bucket of water, put it in the dripper, it will drip the dirt into clay. And we can use the clay to make an unfired clay bucket, and then at some point we can fire it. Can't do it right now though, because we lack any kind of furnace. Collecting more rewards, we were given an adventurer backpack, which, where's this from? Fast travel. Here it is, fast travel. Adventurer bag gives us a warp plate. Not nearly as useful as a backpack, but I'll take it. Not quite sure how that works actually. Next we use the stone essence to create cobblestone. Use that to make a cobblestone pickaxe. Then I believe we can make a hammer, which will let us get gravel and other stuff. And we unlock the 3 paths. In Skies 2 Aero, you can choose which method you want to generate resources with. While you can do all 3, you will only be able to choose one bonus boost for your preferred method. Option 1 is the path of prospecting. We're going to be doing a bunch of sifting. Number 2 is the path of cultivation, which is going to be, looks like fishing from the void for essential stuff from mystical agriculture. And lastly, the path of crystalmancy, which will be using void crystal catalyst to do gears, which is pretty nifty. So, starting with crystalmancy, we could take our grains of infinity, which first I should finish the quest. There we go, grains of infinity quest done. Align them in a row of 3 to get 8 grains of infinity. Combine that with cobblestone to make void crystal catalyst. Then take the void crystal catalyst and plop it right here. Dye it white. How do I dye it white? Oh, gotta turn this into white dye. And you get a iron budding gear. So now we can twerk to work and grow iron, just like that. But now that we have access to iron geored, that presents a problem. We can't smelt it yet because we lack a furnace, and for some reason they decided to make furnaces to cook a campfire in this pack. So before we can make a campfire, we're going to need a source of coal, which we might be able to actually get from coal gear, block of coal gear, which should probably come budding coal gear from black dye. Black dye can be made from dye essence, which we don't have. If we add some water, we could get some black dye from like a squid spawning. But for now, this is useless. Next up, we're going to craft ourselves a good old fishing rod and do some fishing from the void. Quest completed. Path of cultivation. Why do you not... Oh, it wants us to make a void fishing rod by throwing the fishing rod into the void. Alright, whatever you say, boss. Looks like nothing happened. Oh, wait. I see it. It's coming back up. Let me just grab it right there. And quest completed, the path of cultivation. Now we can fish for essence from the void, just like this. Oh, there we go. And it starts a QTE. Bam. And what do we got? Iron essence, stone essence, some rotten flesh, copper essence, and fish essence. Interesting stuff. Now, is there like a loot table for this? And there is. Void fishing, fishing loot. Interesting. There's a pretty big loot table for this. So void fishing with the void fishing rod can yield all of these different essences, plus some productive bees as well. Alright, finally, so I've been fishing for quite a while, and I don't want to fish anymore, but I've still yet to get any coal, but I found a workaround. We can fish for cow essence to make 6 leather. Then we can use this leather to make ourselves a backpack. Like so. Then, with the backpack built, we finish off a quest in the useful items, never mind, in the general storage tab, which will reward us with $1 and unlock colorful backpacks, which gives us 3 dye essence, and then we can use the dye essence to make black dye. Black dye. And now that we have black dye, we can take one of our void crystals over here, place it right here, dye it black, so now we have a budding coal geode, and now we can equip our backpack, and now we can twerk to grow coal, and then we can use the coal to make a campfire, use the campfire to make a furnace, use the furnace to make a big furnace, and then do some heavy melting of our iron to actually finish off this portion of the pack. Because for some reason, they decided to make the beginning of this pack extremely slow for some reason. I don't even know how I'm supposed to get access to andesite without being able to smelt iron. I mean, without being able to smelt cobblestone, but at least we figured out a workaround. So now that we have coal geode, we go ahead and make a fireplace. That's not what it's called. Make a campfire. Then use the campfire to make a furnace. Then we place the furnace on the ground, say right here. Then we throw in the coal on the bottom. Then we take our iron essence, convert it into raw iron, and then cook the raw iron to make a bucket. And then once we have a bucket, we can scoop the water. And if we can scoop the water, we can make an infinite water source. And if we can make an infinite water source, we don't need the wooden basin anymore, rendering this item moot. And finally, iron at last. Proper materials. And you get more iron as a reward. Nice. Now, it looks like the only one we haven't done is the path of prospecting, because it was a little annoying, but now that we have access to the furnace, we can smelt the cobblestone into stone, and then if we make a little bit more water, we're going to need some more leaves for this. Now the infinite water source is done. Now we can take our stone, grab some water, put it into the dripper, then drip the water onto the stone, which should produce andesite, and then if we let the water drip some more, it'll produce, there you go, andesite amalgam. And when we break the andesite amalgam, you get pure andesite alloy. Andesite alloy is already, you know, an alloy. It's not very pure, but it works for our purposes. And now that we have andesite alloy, oh, that's funny, I actually need to hold a piece of andesite in my hand first to actually finish this. Now grab the andesite, grab that, finish off the quest, and then it wants us to make a sifter in order to finish that off, but I'm just not sure how useful this is going to be. There's 14 pages of sifting recipes. You get more and more stuff as you ascend up the mechanical mesh tiers. Right now we can only do a mechanical cloth mesh, which gets you bone meal, dirt essence, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of iron. And I guess we'll set one up. I'm not sure what we're going to do like as our main resource generation, but it might not be create. Now we make some shafts, then we take those shafts to make a cogwheel, and then we combine that all together in order to make, and we need a little bit more planks in order to make one sifter. And then the quest gives us, that's the wrong button, a cogwheel, some belts, a crank, a funnel, and some money. So let's go ahead and craft ourselves a little mesh here. So now we could just go ahead and plop this guy here, do a little cogwheel, grab a little hand crank, then we can grab, say, all of this dust. We can put the dust inside. How do you put it inside? Oh, you gotta put the mesh first, and then you can right click it. Do I have to, like, Q to drop it? Okay, you Q to drop it in. Now we're full of dust. Then we take our andesite funnel, place you right there, and we don't have a wrench. Luckily, the create quest line will give you a wrench for free. No diamonds required. So now if we turn this guy, we start grinding through the dust. And out comes nothing because it's a very small chance, which is why I don't like sifting. But hey, if you leave it running, automatically forever, you get stuff, so it works out in the end. But with that, all 3 paths are completed, and we can take a look at which bonus we want to get, which boon do we want bequeathed upon us. The first one is Stress Relief, a one-time start bonus for prospecting. Looks like it gives us a Sterling engine to give us some early SU to power the sifters, which would be nice. Efficiency, if we could turn in our fishing rod, we get an enchanted rod, some growth accelerator, and a harvester pylon to harvest crops. And if we do crystal boosting, we get some bone meal, some grains of infinity, a fortune 3 unbreaking 4 wooden pickaxe, along with a growth accelerator and the crystal resonance generator from AA2. Now I'm thinking we're gonna do these Geors because it's the most interesting and I have played with that mod the least. So we're going to go ahead and grab all this. And for now, I think we need a lot of coal, so we should be able to just break this guy here, place the growth accelerator, and if we place the crystal resonance generator on top, it should power it just enough to actually run. And there it goes. It's ticking the block and it's running faster. Now, I do find it interesting that they give you this wooden one because another quest gives you this one, which always has at least Fortune 1 on it. But I guess for now we'll just use this one to get a lot more Geor. So you can see just off of 1, 2, 3, 4 faces, we got 56 shards, which is pretty good. That's the equivalent of, I think, half in coal. Yeah, because it only smelts for 4. But you can cook it into coal. A bit roundabout, but it does work. And I really gotta figure out how to turn off events. And there we go, I figured it out. They just need to have like one big toggle, so you could toggle everything off at once. Because having to go through all 8 of these commands just to turn them off one by one is extremely annoying. But as you can see, I just got boosted with speed 2, which is something I don't want when we have like 0 space. So hopefully we're not going to see any more. And I completely forgot I had this pig in my inventory. Pygmy Fumo. You thought you were always one little pig. Then around the corner was another, just as slow and soft. You did not say much, but neither of you feared being alone anymore. May you meet the pygmy meant for you. Signed, Moki. I have no idea what this is referencing, but our pygmy Fumo can live right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a huge furnace. And if you haven't seen this before, it's actually quite fun. So you're going to take all of your stone essence, convert that into a bunch of cobblestone. And I just realized I actually need a bunch of wood for this because each furnace takes a campfire to craft. 26 campfires. Then we're going to combine that with cobblestone to make 26 furnaces. Then we can take all these furnaces and do like so. And actually, if I take out my iron stick, we could do 1, 2, 3, 4. To make a jumbo furnace. Why did that not work? Oh, I bet I know why. I bet if I break one of these and then re-add it manually, it should fix. Yep, there we go. The jumbo furnace. Bigger and better. And as a reward, they give us 2 to 4 more jumbo furnaces, and we maxed out with 4. Perfect. So now we can run, I think it's 1 and then plus whatever you put in here, so we could do like 5 crafts at the same time. We can actually test that by taking our coal and our coal Geor. So if we put coal in the bottom and coal at the top, it's doing 5 at a time, which is very nice. It essentially lets you do batch crafting, which is pretty fun. It still takes like the normal amount of time, but now you could do 5 times as many items. And I decided to relocate the thingamabob. What is it called? What is it? Not the resonance generator. The machine that ticks the Geor, because at this kind of orientation, we can get more use out of it. Now, it doesn't really matter these corners that are wasted, because eventually we're going to automate this, and it's more efficient to just have one face growing at all times, because it's just faster, and then we have room for 2 more on the back here once we get some more dyes. Now I wonder, can we actually dye? Because we can actually make a gray dye. Gray. And of course, it's the American spelling, and not the British one. We could make gray dye. Light gray. No, I just want regular gray. It would help if I click the right one. Gray dye. Does gray turn into something? It makes lead ore. Awesome. And we have lead. And I guess we should also get copper. Copper takes orange dye. Do we have access to orange? Not yet, but we can easily get it later. And then eventually I guess we'll just get every geore, so we can have access to every material. And let's see here, I got so distracted with the geores, I forgot about the main quest line. So now it wants us to make a tempered glass jar, which is cast iron and tempered glass, which is just cooking glass in a blast furnace, or in a campfire. It's a shame you can't do that, and I believe cast iron is the same thing in a blast furnace. Cast iron. Oh, we gotta create big cannons in here. Cast iron ingot, also made in the blast furnace, which is just a furnace with a bunch of iron and some smooth stone. So we're gonna need a bunch of cobblestone, and we're gonna start converting that. And I guess I'll add more jumbo furnaces while I wait, because that'll just make this faster. You know, I gotta ask, do people like the random sticks that FTB always adds? Like, this one just gives you 125% bonus armor, which is insane, and this one just gives you +1. So it's like, the item disparity is crazy. Personally, I'm wearing this one that gives me +10 attack damage, so now I can literally punch like I have a diamond sword in my hand, which is pretty nuts. But I don't know, I feel like they kind of just inconsequate a lot of gear that you should be like working towards, at least in the early game. And now after waiting around for all of that glass to craft, we can go ahead and make our jar. I wonder why they wanted us to make this jar. Because it's not like... what jar was it? Is it even called a jar, now that I think about it? Tempered glass jar. I searched jar, I don't see it here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they want us to make these. Like, I guess one use is early lava, but that's about it. And there we go, fully automatic lava production. So nice to see it after, you know, Cuboid Outpost and my lava woes. But now that we have access to lava and water, we can go ahead and make ourselves one stone cobble generator. And we could hook it up to the tempered glass jar to have infinite lava. I mean, yeah, technically infinite lava. But it doesn't really matter too much, as in this pack there's many ways to generate lava. This is just like the early game one, just to get a good source going. And you can see over here, I just expanded the platform out a bit so we can accompany, you know, some animals. I'm trying to get a bunch of grass so I can bone meal it and get some dye so we can fill out the rest of these. And I did not realize we had a giant tree still growing up here. Now then, with all that out of the way, it looks like the two big milestones here are the production of steel and the gateway of the Hellish Fortress, which is going to take Grains of Infinity, Rotten Flesh, Amethyst, a Stable Ender Pearl, and a Skeleton Skull to craft. Doesn't look that difficult. We just got to figure out how to get access to these materials. I'm guessing we can get these from a geore? Looks like Amethyst Fish also drops them. I've never seen that in my life. But for now, let's focus on our steel ingot production, which I'm guessing the easiest way to do so is going to come from steel dust, which can be made in the metallurgic infuser from Mechanism, which of course, you know, Mechanism, we always do it, but hey, it's a FTB pack. We don't have much of an option. We will need osmium for this though, so we're gonna have to figure out how to get osmium. And it looks like to make the budding osmium geore, we need osmium in the first place. There's an in-world transformation using a block of silver, but we don't have silver. We also need molten ender for that. So, I wonder how we're supposed to get the first couple pieces of osmium. Also osmium B. Now let's see here. Now that we've acquired a lot of resources, I think we have enough to actually build our flying machine. So we're going to need a steering wheel. Okay, that's going to start unlocking a lot of stuff for us. A hot air burner, block of coal and iron plate. Iron plate is going to take... oh, we could do a forge hammer. Those are pretty cheap. Heavy weighted pressure plates. And let me double that. This guy, this guy. This one, that one. 1, 2, 3. Make our forge hammer. Okay, I did not mean to place that there. This is mostly just to save me some time with setting up some, what's the word? Like other infrastructure, because it's really easy just to take iron and then flatten it myself like this. We need 1 block of coal to make the hot air burner. Then we need a red portable engine, which will take a blast furnace, engine assembly, and this. Can I just buy this? You cannot. How do I make an engine assembly? So the engine assembly is take an iron plate and cut it and smash it 8 times for a 50% chance. Okay, not the most difficult craft, but we will need a source of SU to make this go very fast. Other than that though, we can make our physics assembler. Grab that. And I believe what it said here is we can buy the glue from the Echo Shop, because we don't have honey yet. So I'm going to head over here. We're going to go to FTB Skies Express and jump on the train, which is coming right over here. And this airship on this side is where all the traders are. Now, let's see. What do you got for me? He sells worms. I don't need worms. I need honey glue. Thank you. And is there anything else that they sell that we could possibly need? Maybe, but not right now. Nothing too much that we would need. Alright, so here's the setup. We have a bunch of water wheels running in parallel. I then have a huge cogwheel to little cogwheel converter that is making it spin really fast. Now my only conundrum now is I gotta figure out how to connect a mechanical press, which requires at least 1 block of space, and this mechanical saw, and have them run at the same time. It's really annoying because of the height difference. Like this block, if they were on the same block it'd be easy, but since they're not, it's making it a little bit more complicated. Alright, I figured it out. And it looks pretty nice too. So now, if we throw an iron plate, get stamped, and popped out on this side, 2 of 16. The only annoying part is I kind of gotta like keep doing this over and over again manually, like mostly because I can't figure out a good way, at least right now, of how to move it back and forth. So this will have to do. And we made a block of industrial iron. Nice! It's useless. Kinda. I guess it does have uses for some other things. We can make a platinum casing. I guess that has some uses, but that's not what we wanted. And as you can see there, after trying 4 plates, we got 1 engine assembly, the plate came back, 1 got turned into an iron nugget, and 1 got turned into something I can't use right now. So that's pretty interesting. But now that we have the engine assembly, we should be able to combine this with a blast furnace, which will take another furnace, which will take a campfire, which will take a little piece of coal. And let's try that again. Engine assembly, blast furnace, furnace, campfire, campfire, furnace, blast furnace, and finally, red portable engine. So now we can combine that with our other 4 things and our glue, which is over here. Put this stuff away, and we can actually start building an airship. Not quite sure how they work though, so let's start pondering. Hot air burners generate lift by filling balloons with hot air. How do I build a balloon? Okay, what is this? Hot air envelope. Hot air envelope. How do I make a hot air envelope? Hot air envelope. Made from wool and stick. Makes 4. So if we do... Okay, so interesting. So if we do 2 wool, 2 stick, you get 4. But if you do it with a deployer, 1 wool, 1 stick makes 3. Which is even better. Can I make a deployer right now? We would need brass, which I don't have access to yet because we lack the ability to make alloys. As we lack this guy. We also lack copper and zinc. Luckily though, we do have a lot of string available. So we're going to go ahead and use that to make a bunch of white wool. Then we're going to combine it with our sticks to make a bunch of hot air envelopes. And let's see. I think we'll need like half a stack at least, because we're working in 3 dimensions. And let's build it off this way, or maybe over there, I'm not quite sure. And my lord, I forgot to clear these quests. We're gonna get a bunch of free stuff for create. Well, that's pretty nice. Gonna take all of that. And we can choose one of these. I guess I just want more shafts. Shafts can be used to make all of the rest. And now it's time to build the ugliest ship you may have ever seen. I am not that great of a designer. Okay, so luckily it said it only counts what I glue with the honey glue, so it shouldn't like stick to the grass here. So this is gonna be our base. We're gonna do like a little, kind of like a boat. This is gonna be the bottom, the very bottom of the ship. So now I need these encased chain drives. Oh, that's not gonna work. Actually, that'll work just fine. Let me grab my... Why do I have an iron hammer? Where did I get that? It must have been a quest reward. Break this. You go there. Then we put our steering wheel on top. Then we can put our seat next to it. You can't use the wrench on the seat? That's very strange. I thought you could. So the seat goes there. Then I need to break the rest of these for our chain drive, all the way going to the back. And connect these, like so. Then add the mechanical bearing here, and add our sail. And that's the wrong way. Can I rotate ya? Rotato potato. Kinda, sorta. Not like that. There we go. And there we go. So there's our sail. So now, if we take a look in third person here, if we select this, you can see the sail starts flipping out. Very interesting. How do I make it not flip out? So if we turn this and goes... I think it's trying to turn too much. Movement mode. Always place when stopped, only place near initial angle, only place when anchor destroyed. Interesting. Okay, maybe it'll work better if we don't have it settled. Okay, 0's like that though. I don't want 0 to be that. I'm gonna have to debug this. Ah, okay, here we go. There's a value panel. So, if we grab this and turn it to 30, 45. Okay, that's 45. I want it to move all the way to the other side though. So if we move it all the way to 180. Okay, 180 is the middle. So we need to fix that. I want 0 to be the middle, because I want to be able to turn left and right. Okay, I think I've got it. So I set the max angle to 90. So it's all the way at the left here. Now if we turn it back to 0, it doesn't do anything. Why aren't you doing anything? What? Interesting. Okay. That might actually not be too bad. So, if I want it to go, you have to go all the way to the left. That sets it to the middle. And then you go back to the middle. And then back to the left. It does it. Maybe it'll work better once the physics is enabled. I'm not quite sure. Okay, I think it's coming together. It's coming together. We got a balloon. We have a sail. Now we just need a way to propel this guy forward. We're gonna need some kind of propeller. This is a lot more difficult than I thought, but I will figure it out. Alright, so we have the hopper feeding the engine. The engine powers the propellers. They're currently using 128 SU each, and this guy's outputting 2048. This would probably be a good time for that one machine that lets you control the SU. For now, though, I think all I can do... We can do it like that. Does that flip it? No, that doesn't flip it. But I think we can turn it on and off with a lever. So let me grab another lever, and I think this thing is ready to take flight. I don't think I'm missing anything else, and I have a lever in there. I can see it. Don't think we're missing anything else. And, oh, how am I going to put this guy on? I think we break this. And if I add you there, and then put the lever. No, it doesn't stop. I guess you just got to take the fuel out to turn it off. Not the most elegant solution, but it's the solution that works. And now, we got to glue the whole thing together. And now for the final piece, the physics assembler, which we'll add right here. Glue you on. So now, if we flip this guy to on, okay, it's all glowing. That means I think it's working. Okay, looks good, looks good. So now we get in the driver's seat and we turn on the hot air burner. How do I turn you on? Oh, there's a lever for this, that's why. Back here. We're now filling it up. Are we moving vertically? We're still at 96. The gas output is 500, total lift. Let's see, can we output more fuel? No, this is the max. You can see it's filling though. The hot air envelope is holding it. Now let's see, we gotta test out the controls here. Okay, back to 0. So we want to turn right. Okay, kind of moves. Okay. Wait, how do I make it go? Oh, if I hit F5, that's how. Okay, so our back rudder is very, very funky, but it does kind of work. Now the question is, what's going to happen if we provide thrust? Wait, what? What about my coal? Oh, I almost forgot the most important thing. We can't forget our fuel source. Bam. It's a bonsai pot. So we'll glue this guy right there. Okay, reactivate the physics. Okay, physics is activated. So now, if we engage the engine, we have thrust. We're just not moving. Ha 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 ha. Is this connected? I don't think this is connected. I just can't tell. Something is definitely not connected here. Alright, I made it even bigger. I double checked that everything is glued together. So now, engage the fire. Now if we look at this guy, the hot air max now is 503. So now if we engage the physics, we have flight. My god, it's working. We're extremely lopsided though. And now we're veering in the wrong direction, but we are flying. Okay, let's see. Can we get some steerage in this thing? We move this that way. Okay, I think I see the issue. I think the issue is our center of mass is not where it should be. So now we're just veering in the wrong direction. Let's see. I should be able to reach entering... Oh, contraption camera. Interesting. Go first person. I should be able to lower the gas to 250, which should make us start falling. Now I think we're not moving at all. But you can see what's kind of happened. So if you look at it like that, the gas is kind of filled up in the front end section. We kind of need to even it out a bit. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, we're falling. We're falling. That's good. That's good. Okay, so it was working. Okay, so if I lower this guy, we can start descent. And then we have to figure out... Oh, wait, but we're falling in the wrong place. That's not good. Okay. It could be worse. What? What are those guys doing here? But okay, now that we're landed, we can come over here, turn off the physics, and we made a perfect landing. Hi there, Drickme. Welcome. Well, let's see here. Turn you off. So the issue is we're imbalanced. So we need to balance this guy out. Because currently we're veering off that way and we want to stay level. And now, after a ton of trial and error, it's completed. Now I wonder, can mobs spawn on this? No, I think if you leave it in contraption mode, they can't spawn. Is this a contraption? Oh. There we go. Now you can see here, this was very useful. Craft this item here, because it lets you configure the diagram and you can kind of see what's going on. So like this, so if we rotate this, you can see the center of mass, the gravity, is straight down, which is what you want. If it's pointing in either direction, it's going to tilt. So I was able to fix the tilt by adding some stone blocks to the side. So now if we grab some fuel from our fire and get up here, so now if we set this, we don't want too much, or actually, let's just go max. We turn this on, and now add the fuel, and get in the pilot seat. entering contraption, unlocked camera. We should start floating once we have enough fuel. I mean, not fuel, hot air in the balloon. And then I did fix the rudder here. We're tilted. Again, we should not be tilting like this. Do my rotors have to be in opposite directions? I think they do, because I think the issue here is now we're floating less, which is nice. But I don't think, actually, maybe we can steer. Contraption camera, so if I turn this to the left, do we start going left? It's hard to tell because there's no frame of reference. We're less tilted though, which is cool. Still very tilted. And I think, yeah, we're not over thing. So if we lower this to say 200, we should start to drop. We are turning though. We're turning just very slowly. If anything, I just gotta come up with a new design that's gonna work better. I might just steal one from YouTube. Or just go into creative mode and then test out a bunch of designs to see what fits. Because right now, there's our base all the way down there, and we're kind of veering into a direction that we cannot control. And now we're descending very, very fast. I'm not actually sure what's gonna happen if we fall into the void. Dripstone caves. Okay, it's all very black. Extremely black. Okay, we're beneath 0, and we're still falling. Still falling a lot. And goal reached, Call of the Void. Interesting, I don't know what that means. Visit the glimmering sea at the end of the world. Hidden advancement. We're also completely vertical. Not sure why that's happening. We're actually kind of steering this thing. We're almost level to that. I think our issue is just forward propulsion. Because we can't actually we're having trouble actually controlling our actual direction, and I think it's because, take a look there, we have 2 propellers. I think they're veering us kind of to the left. But it's kind of working. It's just super, super slow. So I think we just got to turn this guy off for now, leave it in there. So if we come to the physics assembler and turn it off, the entire ship stops. We can now take the fuel out, and our ship can stay here. We'll call that version 1. Now there's our spawn all the way over there. We're actually pretty close. Actually not that far. So we started here, and it ended up over here after 30 minutes, I gotta say. I think that's pretty good. It's not too bad. But I've been goofing around with the airship for far too long and wasted a lot of time in today's recording. But anyways, I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you all next time.